Blessings and welcome to the Path to Freedom, this beautiful space where we get to continuously allow for greater and grander expressions of who and what we are, where we continuously get to grow, unfold, expand into ever higher levels of vibration, into ever expanding consciousness, where we get to set ourselves free from fear and worry and doubt and set ourselves free to be in ever expanding love and peace and joy and harmony and wholeness and abundance and all of these beautiful qualities that are the truth and the essence of who and what we are, that in every single moment are inherent within each and every single one of us. So my name is Daniel Roquillo, and as always, I'm very grateful and honored that you're choosing to join me in a moment of doing just this, of becoming aware, of exploring what it means to be walking this beautiful path. And today we're exploring the 3 stages of healing. And for the purpose of this conversation, and just to clarify what I mean by healing, how I define healing. Healing is not ever about us fixing or mending something that is broken. We are not ever flawed. We're not ever incomplete in any way, shape, or form. But every single one of us is a unique and perfect and whole and complete expression of the one mind, the one life, the one source of everything, this loving presence that I oftentimes choose to call God or Spirit. So to begin with, we are all that we will ever be, not in any kind of need of fixing up. So healing then is the releasing and letting go of that which obscures, that which keeps the light that we are, the love that we are, the peace that we are, from shining, from being revealed, from being expressed in ever greater ways. So healing is the releasing and letting go of the judgments, the opinions, the points of view, the thoughts as to what should and should not be, a habit that no longer serves us. All of these things that we have sort of learned along the way that may have served us at some point, but at this point, where we are now, who we are now, they no longer serve. So that is what healing is about. And so there are 3 stages to the healing process, to this process of actually releasing and letting go of that which no longer serves. Where the very first stage is us becoming aware of a thought pattern, us becoming aware of being in fear or worry or doubt, us becoming aware of having a sense of not being enough, a sense of not having enough, us becoming aware of judgments and opinions and thoughts as to what should and should not be, resistance to that which is, trying to make it differently. For us to heal anything, we need to be aware of that which is obscuring the truth and the essence of who and what we are. Without that awareness, we cannot heal anything. So the very first stage is us being brave enough, us having the courage enough to really want to look at ourselves, to stop placing blame outside of ourselves, to stop pointing fingers, to stop saying that, oh, it is their fault, or it's because of what he did, or it's because she didn't do that, or whatever our stories are, our victim stories, our blame stories are. And take a look underneath these to allow to come into our awareness the thought form that is giving rise to the experience that we are having, the emotion that we're having. Because as it has been coming to me lately, everything is nothing until we make it something. And we make it something by virtue of our perceptions about it. So whenever stuff arises in our awareness, in terms of resistance or anger or disappointment or whatever the case may be, it is not the other that is the cause of these experiences. They did whatever they did. They are doing whatever they are doing. It is what we think about what they're doing, our judgments and opinions about what they're doing, that is giving rise to the emotional turbulence that we are experiencing. So the very first step is us becoming aware of the thought forms, the fears, the worries, the doubts, our habits. The second stage is us embracing and allowing that. Embracing and allowing that which is to be as it is. And this simply means that we perhaps are becoming aware of having judgments or an opinion about someone and what they're doing or not doing. We become aware of us having that opinion. We become aware of us having that judgment, and embracing and allowing whatever is to be as it is simply means that we don't judge ourselves for having this judgment. We do not beat ourselves up or come down on ourselves or berate ourselves or abuse ourselves for experiencing a thought form and for being attached to a thought form. A thought is a thought. I was watching some actually I was watching The Walking Dead with my son yesterday, and at some point there's this priest, and in this moment I'm forgetting his name, but anyway, he was in the car with someone, and this individual was saying, giving voice to some judgments and opinions that he had about another individual, a third individual, where the priest says, Gabriel, that's his name, where Gabriel says, a thought is just a thought. A thought is just a thought. It's our actions that make them good or bad, or something to that effect. So whenever we experience a thought form, a judgment or an opinion, it's not good or bad. It just is what it is. And for us to heal it, as long as we resist something, as long as we run away from something or deny something within ourselves, there's not going to be much healing done. The healing is not going to happen, because even though we're sort of shying away from this particular thought form or opinion or judgment, we're still engaged in it. We're still attached to it because of the resistance, because of the denial. We're saying that it is wrong. This should not be. So we're just adding another layer of emotional content on the first layer. So we're just sweeping it under the rug, but it's not going to go away. It's not going to dissolve just because we pretend that it is not there or wish that it wasn't there. So the second stage is us embracing and allowing. And for practicality, embracing and allowing is kind of, if you've ever been standing outside on a beautiful summer day, the sky is not completely blue, but there are some clouds just floating by, passing by, and you just look at them. You just observe them. You witness and observe them, not labeling them, not judging them, not having opinions about what they should look like. They're not looking this way, but they should look this way. Just observing them, observing their colors, observing their shapes and form, observing the speed with which they float. All of these things, observing and witnessing, not labeling, not judging, not having opinions about it. That is what embracing and allowing. Releasing our emotional attachment to what it is that we are observing and witnessing. So that would be the second stage. And from this space of being aware, of not being attached, we now get to make different choices. When we become aware of perhaps having been run by fear or worry or doubt, we become aware that we have been run, our minds have been hijacked by fear, worry, and doubt. We become aware, we allow it to be what it is, we embrace and allow it, we witness and observe this pattern within ourselves. The next time we become aware of being run by fear or being attached to fear or experiencing fear, as we have no attachment to it really, the fear does not run us, but we get to move in spite of fear. We get to make choices not from the fear, but we get to make choices in spite of the fear. We get to make choices that are in alignment with what we wish to experience, which perhaps is peace or harmony or joy or love or abundance. And gradually, as our minds are habitual, when we begin to make these new higher choices, the old patterns, the old versions of who and what we are, where we used to be run by fear, that old version, that old expression, that old iteration of who and what we are, it begins to dissolve because we're not giving it power to run us anymore. And so gradually over time, and sometimes this happens incrementally, the healing, the releasing, letting go, it happens incrementally. Sometimes it happens very suddenly. We have an insight, we have a realization that completely dissolves previous thought forms, previous habitual ways of being and moving and thinking. But over time, most of the time, over time, as we begin to make these new choices, as we begin to become more and more aware of the choices that we're making in any given moment, as we begin to become more and more aware of how we can make choices that are in alignment with the good that we desire, that are in alignment with who we wish to be, how we wish to show up in life. As this happens, this is how the healing happens. We move away from who we used to be, allowing for the next great and grand version of who and what we are to emerge. So we're dying daily to our little selves, to who we used to be, allowing for something greater to emerge, for more peace to emerge, for more love to emerge, for more compassion to emerge, for more joy to emerge. I was reading a quote from Eckhart Tolle a few days ago. If you have tuned into these talks before, you perhaps know that I absolutely love nature, and I absolutely love to use the caterpillars and the butterflies and the transformation that happens when the caterpillar moves into the cocoon and goes through the metamorphosis. I absolutely love that as an analogy to explain much of this beautiful path that we're walking, the transformation that is happening. And so I was overjoyed to see a quote from Eckhart Tolle where he said that what the caterpillar calls the end of the world, we call the butterfly. What the caterpillar calls the end of the world, we call a butterfly. And so what this means is that healing is just that. We are allowing who we used to be to die, to dissolve, to be transmuted, to be transformed into something else. It is not that we are physically dying. We're not releasing the body, the physical body, but we are dying to who we used to be. And so, all this to say that healing is not always, it can be, absolutely, but mostly healing is an incremental process, a step-by-step process where we gradually allow ourselves to expand. And the first stage, just to reiterate or recap, the first stage is us becoming aware of what doesn't serve us, of the thought forms, the habits, the points of view that we may be holding on to, that we may have held on to for a long, long time, but that are not in alignment with what we wish to experience. So awareness is the first stage. Embracing and allowing that to be what it is. Witnessing, observing, beyond labels, beyond name calling, beyond judgments, beyond opinions. Just simply watching it. That's the second stage. And then making a new choice. I don't think I articulated that as the third stage, but it is. us making choices from our new level of awareness, choices that are in alignment with what we wish to experience. That's the third stage. And then there are sub-stages, such as compassion and being gentle and kind towards ourselves, and allowing ourselves to be who and what we are in any given moment, and realizing that we, as everybody, as all of us, are doing the very best we know how to do in any given moment. There's no point at all in beating ourselves up or judging ourselves or berating ourselves or abusing ourselves. It serves nothing, because in any given moment we're doing the very best we know how to do. So the invitation for us, obviously, is for us to seek to become aware, to be willing to really see where we are holding ourselves back, where we are denying ourselves the peace, the joy, the harmony, the wholeness, the beauty, the abundance that we wish to experience by holding on to small and limited thought patterns, stories, beliefs, judgments, opinions, stories of blame, stories about how it's their fault. It's their fault that I'm in such misery. Oh, and all of these. That's the invitation. And then obviously, the invitation continues with embracing and allowing that. And then from that awareness, we get to ask the question, this choice that I'm about to make, this choice that I just made, is this in alignment with who I wish to be, what I wish to experience? Yes, I may have made this choice innumerable times, but is it in alignment with who I wish to be? And if not, then we get to ask, what choice could I possibly make that is in alignment with what I wish to experience? And then as we begin to move in that direction, we get to enjoy and observe the healing happening as we gradually move deeper and deeper and deeper into being authentic, into allowing who we wish to be to emerge. Thank you so much for tuning in and for participating. Until we meet again, I absolutely bless all of our days, and I bless all of our ways, knowing that right in this now moment, all is well, that something wonderful is always happening right here, right now, that everything is working for our highest good, our highest as a collective, and our highest as individual expressions of the one mind. With much love, many blessings. Namaste.